Hey guys, today I want to show you a method which I developed recently for obtaining perfectly round stars in the whole image, regardless of the type of the telescope you are using, a telescope or a photographic lens. You can use this method, which I am about to show you, in any type of imaging device. Some of you who watched my previous videos may remember that most of the time I'm imaging with this achromatic refractor Star Travel 80 with an aperture of 80 millimeters and a focal length of 400 millimeters. This telescope is very cheap. I bought it for an equivalent of, as far as I remember, 75 bucks, something like this. It has the original Skywatcher stock focuser, 1.25 inch stock focuser, so I am even not able to attach any flattener to this telescope. And when I image at f5 with the aperture wide open, my stars look, wait, let me find these. Here. At f5, this refractor produces such image. This is one single frame. This is at f5 with the open aperture, and as you can see, the stars have triangular shape. They don't look well, but what is going on in the center of the field is nothing comparing to what is going on in the corners, because in the corners stars are unfocused, are stretched, and they definitely don't look good. But despite of this quality of the image, I am able to achieve images like this. This is a picture of California Nebula, NGC 1499, which I imaged from the city using exactly this rig with the achromatic refractor and my old Nikon D5100. If we zoom in to this picture, it is 7 hours. 7 hours of total exposure. If we zoom in to the corners, if we zoom into the corners of the image, you can see that stars are perfectly round, the colors are perfect, and everything looks as if it was taken with a telescope which was much more expensive, like 10 times more expensive, but still this was done. I made it, this photograph, with this achromatic refractor. So how is it possible? It is very easy to do, and anyone can do it. There are actually two tricks. The first trick you already know, because I showed it in my previous videos. The first trick to get better stars is to shoot stars separately only with this only with this small hole in the center part of the cap, of the lens cap, open. This hole has 40 millimeters diameter, so with the focal length of 400 millimeters, it gives f10. The focal ratio is f10, and when I make stars at f10, wait. If I shoot stars at f10, I'm getting images like this. This is a single 2-minute frame shot at f10. If we zoom in, you can see that stars in the center are perfectly round. The colors are very nice. So this is the first trick. But even though this was shot at f10, the stars, because there is no flattener, the stars in the corners, they look better than the stars shot at f5, but still they are elongated, they are not sharp, and they don't look good. In every corner there is similar situation, the stars do not look good. So now the question arises, how to achieve this? How to overcome the fact that without the flattener, stars in corners don't look good? Well, there is a very simple trick to do this. Let me switch to telescope views. In this website, telescopeviews.com, there is a part for astrophotography. If you enter your focal length and the size of your chip, of your matrix, the size of your sensor, you can see how large your field of view will be. Let me switch now to full screen. So this is the California Nebula in the field of view of my imaging rig. So stars in the center at f10 will be sharp, but stars in the corners will be elongated and will not look nice. So the question is, what to do to get also perfect stars in the corners? Well, the trick is very simple. It's just enough to make an image of the part of the sky which is in the corner in the original image, but simply make another photo of this area framed so that the area which was in the corner in the original image now will be in the center, or at the center, in the center of the image. Then you will have perfectly round stars also in this area. So what can be done, and what I am doing, is that I shoot first set of frames for stars at f10 from exactly the same position as I shoot f5 material for the nebula, but then I simply make a mosaic. This is why I called this method the Mosaic Flattener. It can be very easily configured, for example, in ACR. So once you configure your mosaic and add it to plan mode, everything is done automatically. You just start the plan and your telescope, your imaging rig is shooting the stars. First it is shooting the first field of view, then the second field of view, the second pane, the third and the fourth. For each such panes, I make 5 frames, 120 seconds each. So for each such field of view, I have 10 minutes of material for stars. So 10 minutes first pane, 10 minutes second pane, 10 minutes third and 10 minutes fourth, plus 10 minutes for the central part. So after making this mosaic, I have images of stars which are sharp in all corners. Now what has to be done is to process them in a way which will allow to merge all of them in GIMP. So yeah, this is the method, and this is why I call it the Mosaic Flattener, because I make a mosaic which somehow simulates the presence of the flattener. Okay, so let's assume we made the session and we have all the material needed. So, first things first. I have 2 nights of imaging of NGC 1499. Altogether is, I think, 51 or 52 frames. 52 frames, 26 frames one night and 26 frames the second night. Altogether almost 7 hours of data shot with an aperture of f5. Yes. So this is material shot at f5 for the nebula. And here I have 5 panes, 5 field of views, 5 sets of subframes actually. The first one is for the central part, shot at f10 with perfect stars in the corner, in the center of the image, and another 4 shot in a position in which stars which will be in the corner on the original image are in the center. So here, this is the fragment of the nebula, and this part will be in the corner on the original image, but it is in the central part on this image, so stars in this part are perfectly round. And similarly, the rest of the subframe sets. This is another corner. This is the third corner. This is the third corner, and this is the set for subframes for the fourth corner. So for each corner I collect 5 frames, 120 seconds each frame. So the first thing we need to do is to stack all these sets of frames separately for each pane, for each field of view. So let me open Deep Sky Stacker, open picture files, and I add the first set of frames for the central part of the image. I also add flats because I want the image at f10 to be to have neutral background, equalized background without any vignetting. So I shot 10 flats at f10. So I add these flats as well. And I also shot darks. I shot darks because, let me check, I shot darks because, yes, this is from f10. There are hot pixels, of course, on the subframes, and because there are only 5 frames for each pane, for each panel, for each field of view, panel, I think panel. It's called pane in ACR, but I think the word panel will be better. So each panel of the mosaic is composed of only 5 frames, is shot with only 5 frames. So I cannot use dithering. It doesn't give anything when I use dithering. Besides, well, it would give if I use median stacking method, but still I am not using dithering. It's just the waste of time, let's say. I don't want to spend so much time for my rig to settle after dithering. So instead of doing dithering, I made darks to remove the hot pixels. So I will also add darks, and if you look at the time, it's only of the darks, it's only 30 seconds instead of 120 seconds. That's because I am using dark scaling. It is very useful option available in Deep Sky Stacker. If you go to stacking parameters, switch to dark tab, there is this dark multiplication factor, and I already checked that for this particular set of images the multiplication factor of 1.75 is good. I don't want to expand on this topic, to elaborate on this topic. Maybe I will make another video about this feature, dark scaling in Deep Sky Stacker, because it is really useful. But for now, I just inform you that I use darks and that I scale them. So anyway, we have flats, we have darks, and we have our light frames. Now I will check them all. And let's choose register checked frames. Let's set the star detection threshold to about 7%, because this will allow to detect enough stars. Let's say 89 stars, it's enough. And that's it. We have the summary of this stacking step. Total exposure is 10 minutes, so 5 frames, 120 seconds each frame. Stacking method for lights, I use average, because there are only 5 frames, so no statistical rejection can be used. I simply stack them with the average. So for darks median, I already showed this, and for flats also median. This is nothing new. So okay, let's press OK, and let's start the first stacking procedure. Okay, so Deep Sky Stacker finished stacking the first panel of the mosaic. Let's check how it looks like, the stack. This is it, autosave fit. So this is the first panel, the central one, with stars perfectly round in the central part of the frame of the image. There are some hot pixels left, but we can deal with them later in GIMP. Right now it is important that most of the hot pixels are removed, and well, the image is stacked and ready for processing. So now what I have to do is I have to stack all the rest of the panels, and I will do this simply by removing the set of frames for the first panel. I mark them all and click the right mouse button and choose remove from list. I leave the flats and I leave darks, and I simply open new set of light frames, the frames of the second panel. Check all, register checked pictures, just in case I'm checking if the star detection threshold is still good. So I click OK, another click of OK, and the second stacking is going on. I will repeat the same procedure for the rest of the panels, and I will be back to you when I finish stacking all these sets of frames.